Maybe I'm just a last minute kind of guy, but it's Monday. We don't leave until Friday. I don't know. These been laying out all weekend. What do you think? Think it's bath time. Stu, man. People want to know why you always sleeping. Huh? So yes, me and Ashley leave for vacation on Friday. I'll have you know that I was all caught up on videos, so you guys won't even know that we went on vacation for a week. It'll be seamless. There'll be continuous videos, and until you see this, we will be back home. We are going to Orlando. I got tickets to go to Universal Studios for a couple days, and I also used Toro for the first time, and I rented something very nice, so be excited for that. Some of you know what it is because you follow me on Facebook, but it's a nice ride. So that's kind of like my part of the trip. I wanted to rent something nice, and we are driving to Miami for the day and then driving back. It's a long drive. It's like 4 hours and 20-minute drive or something like that. So I wanted to have something nice to ride in. Unfortunately, it says strictly in the directions, no burnouts. Darn it. So it's a little bit warmer today than it was yesterday. I might even bring a heater out here, I don't know. But I need to start wet sanding. I'm gonna start wet sanding all this stuff. Anyways, I got a little spray bottle, and this is one we use to spray before I sand. We're gonna sand 600 and we're gonna sand the whole thing, but we're gonna work on all of the run areas first and then come back and just scuff the rest of it. And I'm gonna have to re-scuff the hatch, even though it turned out perfect. The top turned out really good, and so did the hatch. So I gotta re-scuff those before we clear them. But yeah, this is just what you gotta do. We're gonna get a good paint job here eventually. It's almost like B is for Bill, but with cheaper crap. Well, sadly, I did what I didn't want to do, and I sanded through the paint in a couple spots. So after I get these all the runs sanded out, it's warmer out today, and I'm not going to spray it as close. I am going to put another coat of paint, probably on all these bumpers, but we'll see how things turn out. New plan of attack. Since I am already going to have to respray it because of thin spots that I went through, I'm going to re-sand everything with 400. Clean it, repaint it. That's just the fastest option at this point. Pretty much everything that could go wrong with a paint job has gone wrong with this paint job, and it's, you know, my own fault. And I kind of rushed it, but I kind of didn't. But you get the point. Went back over both the bumpers with 400. I had to do this back one several. The back bumper was horrible. That was the worst one. The front bumper wasn't too bad. I just sanded it with 400 until the runs were gone, and we're just gonna recoat. We're gonna do one more coat of black on both of these so that they have a good coat. I already wiped them down. Everything's wiped down. Now the back hatch, I'm not respraying. All of this, I sanded this with 600, wet sanded this with 600, so it's ready for clear coat. It's all wiped down, so I probably will wipe it down one more time after I get done with these. But I'm gonna go ahead and lay some paint down and hopefully have no runs. I'm gonna shut my door too, and I might also bring a heater in. I don't know yet. That is so much better than the first paint job. I spray it from a little further away. It looks like it's misting when it goes on. It takes a little bit longer to coat it, but it doesn't run, and it looks really good.
I just had enough paint. I had to pick up one of my old cans to finish the front bumper. I'm glad I decided not to paint the back one. But it was 4 cans for everything in the recoat. So I'm going to mix up my clear coat and go ahead and spray this stuff right now, because it's ready. It's as ready as it's going to be. Might not be perfect, but this is what I got to work with. So these are the kind of results you can expect whenever you take your time and you do it right. I messed up, I fixed it every time. Every time there was a mess up, I fixed it. So it ended up in the end, this paint job looks wonderful. I spent an extra day just prepping these things to make them right, but they turned out wonderful. I love the finish. You can't beat that. I mean, if you're gonna do rattle cans and you want a good finish that's gonna last, this stuff right here. This is that 2K clear I was telling you about. It is pricey, but and one can isn't gonna get you too far either. It's 11.8 ounces. I got 2 coats on the bumpers with this, with 1 can, plus just a little bit on the hatch, and the hatch itself pretty much I used the whole can on. So there's still a little bit left in the can, but it's to the point now where it's kind of splattering when it comes out, and I didn't want to paint with that. But man, let me tell you, you can't beat it. I think I paid about $39 for these 2 cans. Sometimes you can find deals on eBay. You can get like 5 or 6 cans for $100 or something like that, but you can't beat it. And then it's actually got hardener in it. That's why you put this on and smack it, and it mixes in the can. And then you have to use it after you mix it, and that is why I was putting this off until you know, it was right. So I definitely wanted hardener in the front bumper, in the hatch itself. So the front bumper takes most of the abuse, so it's going to resist stone chips now. It's going to resist a lot of things. This also, after it fully cures, if you get gas on it, say you spill gas on it, it's not going to come off like if it was regular spray paint. Spray paint, it would eat it right off. So this is actually going to be a good finish. And in the end, after materials and the paint cans, like I said, I used 4 cans, materials plus the clear, I probably have $80 in painting all of this, which is cheaper than what you could do with real paint. Till you go through all the materials and everything to do it right. I'm like 100% satisfied with this. I think it looks wonderful. And that's pretty much all I'm going to get into today, because as much as I would love to throw these on just to see what they look like, I had to give them time to dry. And I'm not throwing the front bumper on as much as I want to see that on there. I think it's going to look awesome. I'm not throwing it on there yet because I still have to pull the motor on this, and I don't want to get that bumper boogered up. I'm probably going to pull the old bumper off and the headlights and stuff so I can polish them off the vehicle. But when I get back from vacation, which is like 2 weeks from today, I want to start pulling the motor on this. I'm hoping the Jimmy's gone by then. I had a guy that was serious about it, but hasn't got back to me yet. And you know how that goes, so I'm going to have to wait and see. But as soon as he sells that, I need to go get myself a cherry picker, and then we're going to start on this, because I'm tired of waiting for the Infiniti, and I don't want to rush Jerry to get the paint and stuff done. So, well, we might be doing more work today. I thought about it. I have to stay up really late tonight because tomorrow I start my 549s at work. So I'm going to be at work until 1 o'clock in the morning every day. I only got 2 days this week before I go on vacation, but still, I don't get off of work till 1 o'clock. That's an hour drive home. So I went ahead and started buttoning up the rear end. It had enough time that it's okay for me to demask it, took the top off, put the tail lights in, got that all done. We might do the truck bed liner next. I need to go to the gym, so we'll do it after that. So I'm going to take a little break from this, but I'm still blown away by how these look. I don't know how many times I've showed you these now, but I'm just really, really happy with it. All right, I'm back. I'm going to prep the sides here. Got to take that flare off. Then we'll put it up in the air to spray it, and it'll make it a lot easier, because then I can spray underneath really good. But we got to scuff all this with 80 grit. Easiest way to prep something like this. And we want to get it up above, you know, everything, so that we don't get overspray on all that. You can get this stuff at Walmart. I got a couple of them right here. It is a plastic bag attached to tape already. Now I can just string this across the side and tape it, and then drape the plastic. The plastic's already attached. I'll just take it up the side and tape it with some more tape, and the whole side will be covered. And honestly, it normally has static to it, so when you pull the plastic up, it's going to stick to the side of the vehicle anyway. So let's get this thing prepped up. I got both sides prepped up pretty much how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to pull the wheels off and get it up in the air where it's easier to sand. But I totally forgot about this door. I mean, I don't feel like welding sheet metal and stuff into this door, so I'm going to grind this down and see what it looks like inside there. And I have short strand fiberglass filler. I'm going to use that if it's pretty bad, but it doesn't need to look perfect. Since this is getting covered with bed liner, it's going to be a rough texture anyway, so, you know, we'll do what we can here. I'm not going to get too in-depth on bodywork on this. This is an off-road vehicle. This is an off-road demon. So I really didn't have... I ran out of my sanding discs for my sander. So I got the grinder out. And I had some half-used sanding grip pads. I went over this, not expecting there to be any metal left after I ground it. Kind of hit the side skirt a little bit. That's besides it. I wasn't demasking it. I already masked this off, so I didn't want to peel the tape off. But look at this. Lo and behold, it was just bubbled between the metal and the paint. There's actually metal there, so that's nice. And right here, that just hit a couple little spots. So I'm gonna hit this with a rust reformer, and after I clean this all up, well, I'll go ahead and sand everything. I'll hit it with 80 grit, and then I'll hit that with a rust reformer. And I'm not even gonna do anything with it. We're just gonna spray the truck bed liner over top of it, because I mean it's got some texture and ripples and stuff, but so is this paint. So it's going to cover that. So that's a lot less work. I don't have to worry about patching rust, because there's really no rust there. And this side's fine. So I'm going to put this thing up in the air so it's easier to sand. Right here is what we're using to coat this. Rust-Oleum's Best truck bed coating. Look, it stops rust. How convenient! I don't know why, but I'm having really bad paint experiences. I've never had problem with spray paint, and the bumpers turned out horrible, and now this stuff, I'm hoping when it dries, it gets a little bit more uniform, but it's got some dark spots in it that, and runs. I don't know how I got runs, and then I tried to spray over them from a distance to get the texture level, and it's just, I don't know. I'm hoping when it dries, it looks a little bit more uniform. The other side's not as bad as this side. This side, I don't know why I got so many runs. I was spraying from a distance and not putting it on very thick, so. But, whatever. It is what it is. This is keep repeating myself, but this is a cheap build. This side turned out a little bit better. You know, not perfect, but looks better. Here, you can see the texture. There you go. Nice textured finish. So once I get everything else on here, I still think it's going to look good. But, yeah, you can see the line I'm going with now. See how the bumper curves down, which you're not even going to see that. But then it meets up with the trim line that goes back to the back, which angles down. Kind of meets that one. The flares are going to cover up that, but I think it's still going to look good. So anyway, since I have it up in the air, I already have the wheels off and stuff, I'm going to move them out of the way. My draining can over there, it has antifreeze in it right now that we drained out of the Jimmy. So I'm going to go ahead and drain the antifreeze out of this, and then I'll clean that out, and we'll drain the oil and the power steering fluid, because the power steering lines are going to have to come off. I think we can save the Freon or the air conditioning, or take the compressor off and move it to the side, but power steering you're going to have to lose. Antifreeze has got to be disconnected and all that. So I'm also going to do some labeling tonight. If I have time, I'm going to start labeling lines and mark them on the engine and on the line itself, so I don't get everything mixed up whenever I go to put it back together. So yeah, my camera died and I ran out of memory. But I've never pulled a Subaru motor before, and I can tell you right now that it's very easy. Very easy. People have said it's easy, but, like, well, I can't say I've never done it. I did it when I was a little kid. Well, wasn't a little kid. I was in high school, but I helped my dad pull my brother's Subaru motor, and we did head gaskets on one. But really not much to it. I labeled a couple things, but, like, look over here. It's just nothing attached. These are the power steering lines right here. This side's pretty much, like, ready to go. This side, I got wiring harness to the alternator. I got these vacuum hoses, and I gotta take the compressor off and the heater hoses that go to the firewall. And then it's just unbolting the engine mounts and transmission, and it's ready to come off. I mean, simple. That's really simple for a motor.
Anyways, it is way past my bedtime. So, on that note, I'm going to call this a night. I don't know how much footage I got there, so hopefully you guys got to see me working on it a little bit there. But if you like this episode, stay tuned, because we're pulling the motor on this thing. She's coming out. But if you like this video, go check out some of my other videos, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Unwrapped.